Zoom out far enough, and galaxies stop looking like islands. They line up into threads and walls and bubbles around emptiness, a pattern that spans the entire visible universe. Somewhere in that pattern is the single largest thing that exists. And here is the honest part. Astronomers are still arguing about what it is. Tonight, the biggest thing in the universe, and why the answer is harder than it sounds. Start where everything connects. On the largest scales, the universe is not random. Galaxies are not scattered like sand. They are strung along invisible threads of gravity and dark matter into a structure we call the cosmic web. Filaments of thousands of galaxies surrounding vast, near-empty voids hundreds of millions of light-years across. This web is real. We have mapped it, slice by slice, in surveys that catalogued millions of galaxies. It is, without dispute, the largest pattern we know. But a pattern is not quite a thing. So let's narrow it down. Where do you live on this map? Our Sun is one star in the Milky Way. The Milky Way is one galaxy in a small group called the local group. The local group sits on the edge of a larger collection, the Virgo cluster. And in 2014, astronomers zoomed out further and found that Virgo is just one suburb of something enormous. A supercluster they named Laniakea, Hawaiian for immense heaven. Laniakea is 100,000 galaxies, flowing together across 500 million light-years. Every galaxy in it is quietly falling toward a single region we cannot even see clearly, hidden behind our own galaxy. The Great Attractor. That feels like it should be the biggest thing. It is not. Because superclusters themselves connect into walls, sheets of galaxies stretched across the sky. In the 1980s, we found the CFA2 Great Wall, then the Sloan Great Wall, over 1 billion light-years long. These are real, measured structures. Each time we thought we had found the edge of big, the universe handed us something larger. And then it got strange. In 2013, a team mapping gamma-ray bursts, the brightest explosions in the cosmos, each marking a dying star, noticed that the bursts were not spread evenly. A huge number of them clustered in one region. They called the structure behind it the Hercules-Corona Borealis Great Wall. If it is real, it stretches roughly 10 billion light-years, nearly a tenth of the observable universe. It would be by far the largest structure ever proposed. Here is where we have to be careful, because there is a rule. It's called the cosmological principle, and it is one of the foundations of modern cosmology. It says that on large enough scales, the universe should look the same everywhere. Smooth, uniform, with no giant clumps. The math even gives a limit. Above roughly 1.2 billion light-years, no single structure should exist. The Hercules-Corona Borealis Great Wall is almost 10 times bigger than that limit. So either it is one of the most important objects in science, or it is not really a single object at all, just a chance alignment of bursts that looks like a wall. That debate is not settled, so astronomers kept looking with cleaner methods. In 2025, a survey of galaxy clusters found a structure they named Quipu, after the knotted Andean counting cords. Quipu stretches about 1.3 billion light-years and holds the mass of 200,000 trillion suns. It is more carefully measured than the gamma-ray wall, and it too sits right at or just past the line the cosmological principle draws. Do you see the pattern? Every candidate for the biggest thing lands in the same uncomfortable place, right at the edge of what the rules say should be possible. And that is the honest answer. We can tell you the biggest verified pattern, the cosmic web, spanning everything. We can tell you the biggest well-defined home, our supercluster, Laniakea. We can tell you the biggest carefully measured single structure proposed so far, Quipu. But the title of the single largest thing in the universe is not a settled fact. It is a live argument, right at the boundary where our biggest map meets our deepest assumption about how the universe is built. Because if structures really can grow to 10 billion light-years, then one of two things is true. Either the universe had far more time and far stranger physics in its first moments than we think, or the principle we built modern cosmology on needs to bend. Neither is a small thing to admit. And that is exactly why this question matters more than a record on a leaderboard. So what's the biggest thing in the universe? Honestly, the cosmic web holds everything. Laniakea is the grand structure we belong to, and Quipu is the largest single object we have carefully measured. But whether anything truly bigger is allowed to exist is one of the open frontiers of cosmology being tested right now. We could just name a winner and move on. It would make a cleaner video. But the true story is better, that we have mapped the universe to its largest patterns, and at the very top of the scale, our map and our rules disagree, and we get to watch which one gives. If you want the honest version of the cosmos, what we know, what we don't, and the difference marked clearly, this channel publishes a new one every week. Subscribe, and we'll go to the next impossible place together. One question before you go: if a structure 10 billion light-years wide really exists, would you rather it be real, or would you rather the rules hold? Tell me below.